I am swiftly plunged into an eternal abyss from the beginning of existence. Pure, unfilled nothingness. Calm darkness, paralyzing death, epic stillness. I could still hear muted stampede of undead angels, colored in innocence that is perfect purple dome. This is the floating limb between the land of the living and the kingdom of death. In my field of vision, God creates life. It's a simple collection of watercolors, the beauty of the fluid existence poisoned by a fixed semen of artificial neons, creating this unbearable sludge. The colors of this sludge include the blue sky, one that allows solid kaleidoscope's view in a blanketed, repeating eternity. The second color that infects that sky blue, it is solid lush green. Its drops are small so that they may attract the carnivorous interest of the human mind to one pathetically tiny space. Finally, God cries a color of molten concrete or solid heavenly piss. Its size is uncontrolled as the infection is unguarded in progress, the infection that sickens the other two colors of this reality, the most essential colors you can craft with. The dried green droplets of water color morph, while lush they become solid, white while their tangibility becomes multiplied. The green is now a collection of soft, violently gelatinous leaves. From the bush of seemingly endless nutrition comes a stale and splintering trunk. Yet, despite these traits, all the trunk is alive and simultaneously motherly and fatherly. The blue paint stretches not to spread its own presence, but rather to have the heaven penetrate its infection to focus. Muffled points. In this information of colors, I believe the eternity is white, not black, and in botany, bigotry, and nativity, I am criminally misguided. The final color, the heavenly piss, constructs itself distant from the other watercolors on God's canvas. It finds itself individualistic, selfish, and prideful at this. It now uses its own poison to create progress. The water dries to stone, and the paint remains paint as the water dries. A pimply surface of black holes emerge from this coloration and signifies the inevitable self-destruction at the inception of the endless progress. What was once a merely colored canvas is now a vast rainforest, crawling with miniature lives, able to bury you into your skin and soul. In this jungle harbor is the most bloodthirsty predators, standing in 70,000 feet tall, sharpened to pierce the pure existence of life itself. The soldiers of hell walk amongst their parasites. In this jungle there are only a few guardian angels set by the great blue fluid spirit to protect the one singular soul who has not yet been corrupted by the diseased red monster. These harborings and innocence of love contained, imprisoned within the walls of the abandoned palace, a palace rotting of centuries. The blocks are nearly dust and some compact, mixed liquid stone and old mustard, yet in the face of the entrapment, they persist internally finishing their duties. For one of these beastly angels are fully aware of the importance of life, for they shall live forever, immortal upon it. Hopeless, yet poor Mowgli shall one day descend into the depths of Mother Terra. A force of greed, gluttony, and corruption unleashes an evil, unbreakable force of perverted desire into each angel, and the singular or mortal shall not be corrupted yet into this universe. They are chained to the mission of taking a permanent artificial cooperative stance. From the highest right corner of the earthly canvas, Ka descends himself. He has been vanquished from the kingdom of heaven for his outwards biology. He lives every day and night starving, with no assistance from his father, in order to eat the never-ending perception of satanic identity. Yet often conformity seems to his easiest option, and does for many of us, and he allows hungry temptation to overtake the influence of his overflowing powers. He now, from the highest right corner of the earthly canvas, descends himself. He is suffocated from the apocalyptically strong grasp of dominant, carrying gray bear. Baloo is interpreted as being one who brought inception into these forests. He's a mentor who will focus on responsibility and protection. But now, as they are controlled by a witch washed with bleach, our Baloo has become the opposite of his image, the one who sees no reality in death, one who smiles at the activities which end in a long torture. His expression is gracious, as real as $3 bill. From the highest left corner of his earthly canvas, a shapeless entity of power-bound force and unraveled intelligence looms in pure darkness, atop a cliff lifted 10 feet from the slowly crumbling rock that has paved across the surface of Mother Terra. Most know this creature as Bagheera. He knows himself as the one who knows by others. His eyes are furious with yellow, swimming rage. His mind was that of a perfect nirvana. His body is in standstill to bring Earth onto hell. But all he does is watch. He pretends to love, and so honestly he does so. Underneath this cliff that Bagheera rests upon dances the king of the manipulated. Freedom shrouds his village, and yet his disciplines continue to rely on the image of the chosen slavery. It pleases the bleached witch that controls their existence. Even a more blasphemous King Louis constantly proclaims to have a desire to transform into a man like you. He is, and himself, propaganda. Finally, at the center of the objectives of those storied beings is our dead Mowgli. He stands in the frozen dance, meant nothing more than to dance for wealth from the infected puppets to bleach witches. This young boy, protected by those written by to be his fathers, has yet become another symbol of greed, gluttony, and corruption. So the bleach witch is prepared to spread this stolen canvas of creation and perpetuate his desires to all who seek purity. Under the attraction of distraction, the creatures of this image have freer mind. They are paralyzed with fear, but not yet paralyzed with force. For the time being, their movements are yet completely still. However, their emotions move into something human. This paralysis is some calming. It's only self-psychological tactic, something meant to regulate their heartbeat before. The jungle comes alive, no longer perfectly stitched together lush paradise. Now it sounds like they see the way it seems, and the jungle roars from many different creatures, gargantuan reptile kings of predation and blind behemoths of mammoth size, their blades carved from the first of for flesh long demanded its literal form. Several thousand parasites have become fully aware of their mission to poison and infect. Those several thousand parasites set upon themselves to sacrifice the greatest for at least. The teeth of the guardians sharpen. They can only feel the teeth being individually squished by the air pressure on the left and right sides, squished so that the dentin fall and push the enamel to become the shape of a knife. Feel the teeth crack so that they may pierce. The eyes of the angels become satanic. Bagheera's yellow eyes of dormant fury awaken. They redden so that his true identity, insanity, and lack of human empathy can be unleashed. Blood falls from his eyelids. Kaa's eyes then turn into an epileptic circus of neons. Baloo's turn backwards and sideways, and does not mean that simply the pupil turns. The whole eyeballs shift in its place. See the various reticip wrap around the reverse side of his eyeball, and as he stares at Mowgli. And the most disturbing them of all was Louie's eyes shut. A dark storm begins to brew. Before this thought can even register the minds of the beasts, a firm strike of blazing lightning crashes the foundations of this environment. The sun dies, the lights shut off, and we are in darkness, hidden from the bleach witch who had come to rule this land. Now you may only know the forbidden truths. King Louie, unknowing of what he was doing, slowly wobbles towards Mowgli. His arms were left to right. They carry the force of the shark's bite, and unintentionally whacks Mowgli. Mowgli's toe falls into the crack as he falls over. The toe snaps open, the flesh torn in a fiery pattern. Blood gushes, squirts, and Mowgli can feel each vessel break. The marrow seeps out slowly. The torn bone is rough and splintery, like a broken plank. Mowgli turns around naively. He attempts to find out what happened. His pain sears. Louis then maneuvers so that he may stand on Mowgli's head, and Louis bends on his knees. He bakes his already dirty fingers a mixture of dirt, dead plant, and horse shit. Louis then grazes Mowgli's skin and pinches his cheekbone, then rips it out. The skin rips out easy as leather. Blue ice on fire is the pain that Mowgli knows. The king then pinches the meat that is left below Mowgli's eyes. The muddy shit dips into Mowgli's mouth. Mowgli's jaws are in his mouth. They're a floating shapeless blob. Louis has pinched the meat so below Mowgli's eyes he does not tear it off, but moves as smoothly as melted butter. It moves so that Louis may insert his shitty fingers into Mowgli's eye socket as he reaches behind Mowgli's eyeballs and pinches the rectus. He pulls the eye out of his way, and Mowgli can feel the wet flash snap out of his skull, and in his skull snap at the scene. Louis bites into his dinner, and Mowgli's eye sockets close forever. Baloo wastes no time whatsoever. His paw slams upon Mowgli's abdomen. The force of that God unleashed it when the Empire State Building collapsed. Mowgli's knowledge of strength is forever obliterated. Baloo then forms his hand into a fist, and in doing so, he collects a wad of skin, flesh, and bone, and blood torn from Mowgli's body. Just barely caught by Baloo's claw was a bit of intestine, and unintentionally slivers out. It's wet, it's bumpy, it's flesh, it breaks its points. Shit falls out of Mowgli's intestines into a broken body. Baloo then eats the wad of meat, and is surprised when he finishes Mowgli's intestines. Baloo reaches for the empty socket of Mowgli's lower body and scratches his backside from the inside. He tears a hole in the skin and touches the cement floor. Baloo tosses away the empty sack that Mowgli still barely lives onto his face. He places his claws in the opening of the wound on Mowgli's back and tears it open. Kaa slivers at this point, leaving a trail of glowing fox rebellion in the form of his own sweat. He slowly coils across the skin that remained on Mowgli's back. His weight is that of 1,000 fists of per every square inch. His voice echoes metal shards that pierce and infect. He slowly descends into Mowgli's body. He aligns himself perfectly with Mowgli's spine, or what may be of it. His head goes in first, and he climbs forward, with no intestines remaining. His head must first travel through the rib cage. They break apart so sympathetically that, like notes in the most basic and indistinguishable of jungle songs, the marrow mainly remains, but whatever soothes Kaa's sinus. He reaches the neck. It is hard for his to fit, but it's not impossible. His eyes bump out of Mowgli's skin like the bolts of the Frankenstein monster. They flash neon colors for himself. Upon reaching the skull, Kaa does what he has become known for. He ingests the skull, free of eyes, but the brain and tongue and teeth. In one full bite, the top of the skull shatters first, and the chunks of bone slab the juicy flesh onto the brain. The brain overreacts and causes an epileptic shockwave to travel through what it thinks is Mowgli's body. Kaa is aroused, and then the jaw collapses on the teeth fell so easily. Little strands of gum connected to the roof of the mouth, and they twist it around and tied together to tangle in Kaa's stomach. Then the tongue is released for its placement, falls flat, and flips like a fish out of water. Kaa then inserts the lower half of the body onto the spine of Mowgli. When room in Mowgli's body runs out, he crawls out of the bone of the left leg, and then runs out. Baloo comes and tears the sole off the foot. Blood explodes out of the rim, and the opening is very dry. He is perfectly aligned. He gives no effort to hold his weight above. The spine collapses out of place. Every disc scrambles. The nerves sever every possible place. It's like having an elephant stomp on you a million different places. Or someone grabbing your shoulder then 10,000 times. The discs act like marbles, free of their constraint, and crumble out of the gash that Baloo sets for the left foot. Baloo toys with them for a little while. Louie and Baloo vanish, and Kaa becomes one with Mowgli's body. All essence fade from his self, and all that is left is any destruction Bagheera wanted to enact. He circles Mowgli several times, slowly, calculantly observant, and there isn't really much left. From the bottom of the left foot is torn. His skull and spine were removed. His intestines were gone, yes. Everything was gone except for one thing. Mommy? Yes, Rachel asked. I had a bad dream last night. Oh, it's okay, my love. Mommy's here. He's crying pretty hard. You should know what this means, Rachel. let's just go back to sleep and not talk about the nightmare anymore. And that, my pretties, was the Jungle Book VHS cover. A Jungle Book creepypasta written by the Cashman. My final thoughts on this story? Well, this one was definitely really messed up in regards to how everything went out, It was just really messed up. That's one of the things I can definitely say is that it is completely messed up. I mean, I like the story, but it was just really messed up, and it was just really crazy. It went from 1 to 100 really quickly with this. Like, no joke. It just went from 1 to 100 very quickly in that. Like, I don't even know how it managed to, go this nuts, but it did. So, I definitely do need to sit here and say was that this story was just, I don't even know what to think. This story was just crazy. I'm just going to be honest. I mean, it's a good story, but this story was just, crazy. So, yeah, that's literally all I'm just going to sit here and say was that it was just really crazy and really insane, but it still is a really good story. So, I guess with that being said and that being the case, I will sit here and say is that it the concept of it was really messed up, but at the same time, it was actually pretty good. I actually really found this to be very enjoyable. Like, I like the good grammar, the sentence structuring, and paragraph structuring. Everything was just, the story was really well written, which I'm really impressed by that, by the way. I'm very impressed with, how the story is structured out and stuff, because usually with these kind of stories, they don't usually, have proper structuring and all that. But in this case, that in this case, that's not the case. And it honestly really shows that, at least some people are willing to put more effort into their stories. So I'm willing to sit here and say that. But I guess with that being said, and with that being the case, um, this was a really great creepypasta, and I'm surprised not a lot of people have actually narrated the story. And some people say the story really sucks and all, but in my opinion, this one was not that bad actually. It was actually a pretty good creepypasta. So yeah, I mean, it's a pretty good, great story. I personally really enjoyed it. So I guess with that being the case and with that being said, I'm just gonna sit here and say this right now. This is simply my own personal opinion, and if you happen to disagree with it, that's perfectly fine too. We're all entitled to opinions in regards to these stories. It's simply my own personal thoughts. And yeah, I give this story a 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 because mainly it was just really messed up and it was really, I mean, there was a lot of stuff that it was just really fucked up at times. But the story was actually pretty interesting. I personally really enjoyed this. I thought this was a really good story. I mean, it's messed up and brutal, yes, but this one was actually really good in a sense. I really did enjoy this story. So, I mean, I'll leave a link to this story in case if you guys want to go watch it. I mean, not really watch it, but like read it. And I will say it is messed up. That's literally the best things I can describe it to be. So, there's that. And I guess with that being said, and that being the case, what did you guys personally think of this creepypasta? Did you all enjoy it? Did you all not? Also, what you have done personally to help make this story a lot better? Feel free to let me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section down below. I'm Shadow the Lion Queen. Thank you so much for watching today's video. And if you're new to my channel, leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you're new. Ring the bell for notifications when I upload, so that way you guys won't miss an upload. As always, if you guys want to go follow my socials, links to all those will be in the About page section, so you guys can go follow me on there. As always, I will see you all in the next video. Peace out, and like always, roll the outro because I'm out.
What's up, my pretties? It's the Lion Queen here. I want to appreciate you all for tuning into this video, and I do appreciate you guys supporting my video by giving this video likes and stuff. If you really enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, comment and subscribe if you're new, ring the bell for notifications to when I upload so that way you guys will get updated for whenever I upload. If you want to follow me on Twitter or DeviantArt, feel free to leave a follow on those if you are interested in following me on those socials. If you want to support my backup channel, known as Ms. Dark Shigo, feel free to subscribe to it, as a link to that will also be in the About page section. And with that being said, and that being the case, thank you so much for watching, my pretties, and as always, stay pretty.